4 teenagers have been charged over a series of aggravated burglaries and a car theft, which saw 2 Melbourne schools sent into lockdown yesterday as police searched for the offenders. The brazen and violent alleged crimes are the latest instalments in the growing trend of home invasions and carjackings by teenagers that have set fear into Melbourne's suburbs. Police are calling for calm and trying to reassure the public they are getting on top of the phenomenon, but some residents are so concerned they've mobilised into groups to defend their homes. Madeline Morrison reports.
Yeah, I'll go down to that Allura estate, which is newly construction, where we normally go.
These 2 men are on the lookout for trouble.
Shahid, any message on the group?
No, nothing so far.
That's good. It's a quiet night.
Junaid Masood and Shahid Mahmood are on patrol in Melbourne's western suburbs, but they're not police. They've set up a group of 500 neighbours, all linked via a phone app, to run local patrols.
We get a message if someone notices anything suspicious. The patrol car near would go there, and we'll see if we observe that if it is something suspicious going on, we just call 000 immediately.
And this is why.
Police have charged 4 teenagers, one just 14.
We're seeing kids younger and younger getting involved in these aggravated burglaries.
Well, it was another violent carjacking.
Couldn't imagine anything more frightening, to be honest, someone coming into your house late at night and confronting you like that.
The minute they walked in, they were screaming and shouting. I saw 4 tall, skinny guys, and they were so vicious, kind of like, give me the key, give me the key.
3 weeks ago, Rika Walia's family woke up to the sound of smashing glass.
They were so scary. I thought they were going to kill me today.
Did you?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The gang of 4 made off with 2 cars and a laptop from their home in Melbourne's western suburbs. Not long after, police arrested 2 of them.
They were aged 13 and 17, 2 boys. My brother's their age, and it just makes me sick thinking, I can't believe if my brother was to go out and do something like that. So it's really scary.
It's a growing pattern across Victoria. Carjackings were up 80% over the last 12 months to March. Home invasions, where thieves also steal a car, have more than doubled. And just like at the Walias, the age of the offenders is increasingly young.
So they range from as young as 13 up to 17. Mostly they're coming from first-generation Australian homes. They're disconnected from general society. They're struggling with school and fitting in.
It was the Moomba riot, when over 100 young people ran amok in central Melbourne, that first drew public attention to the Apex gang, which was originally behind much of the spike in youth crime. In the last couple of months, though, the offenders have been expanding.
So they will connect with each other through social media, perhaps never met before, until the day they're actually going off in the back of a car to do a home invasion.
OK, so it's copycat offending.
It's learnt behaviours, and they're learning really, really quickly.
So when I came out from my house, what I've noticed that a couple of guys were standing here, like they are pretty much like 10 to 15 guys, and the age of 15 to 18, roughly.
In the suburb of Tarneet, Vazeer Mohammed is still recovering a month after a gang carjacked him and his friend at dusk in front of Vazeer's house.
And the kids, like, they just start like smashing, and then...
And they took the car?
They took the car in a minute, like...
The gang wrapped the car around a pole just streets away and escaped. So far, no one has been charged.
So now every day I'm getting panic, and in fact my family, they are a bit worried about now. I'm thinking of like moving place. That's the next option.
But despite the recent spike in carjackings, both the police and legal aid, which represents many of the young people accused of these crimes, are at pains to point out that youth crime is actually falling in Victoria.
But if you actually look at the overall trends, over the last 5 to 6 years, we've had a 43% reduction in youth crime. There are some pockets of more serious offending where you've got a very small number of young offenders who are committing more offences.
Reassurances, though, appear to be falling on deaf ears. Here in Caroline Springs in Melbourne's west, 7:30 has spoken to residents of just one street where 3 families are packing up and moving out, all because of the fear of youth crime. Across Melbourne, informal online neighbourhood watch groups are springing up. Members maintain constant contact, warning each other of any suspicious activity. There's also often racism and sometimes encouragement of violence and vigilantism. So is that level of fear then, people saying that they can't sleep at night, that they wake up checking on their kids every night, people constantly posting about the slightest thing on Facebook, is that proportionate to the risk of crime?
It's not proportionate to the risk of crime. The number of these offences that we've had is not proportionate to the level of anxiety that we're seeing. But the nature of the offending makes it reasonable for people, I think, to go to that place.
A police operation set up to tackle carjackings and home invasions has arrested 120 people in 3 months. They say they're making good headway and that recently there's been a decrease in incidents. And they're urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands.
Our position is that we would prefer that while the community is the eyes and ears of what goes on, is they call police at the first opportunity. I think fundamentally we don't want to put people in any way put themselves at risk.
Junaid Masood and his friends, though, will continue to respond when the community calls.
People are feeling scared to get out, take their kids out in the park. They just think something's going to happen to them.
Do you not feel that you're overreacting a little bit? I mean, the chances of you being broken into are still small.
It could be, but it's for protection of my family. I have to be extra careful and ready if something happens.
Madeline Morris reporting.